Hello, it's been a while, and welcome to the ninth episode of programming course. Uh, I, it was like I was not in the mood to record, and suddenly I had found and half an hour to waste, and I just decided to record this video for you. So let's just jump right in. So, the previous episode, we just got familiar with the functions and the recursive functions. Today, we are going to do something a bit different, and the solutions that I'm going to use today is not appropriate solution for the problem I'm going to explain, but be patient. I just want you to know why this is not a good solution. If you know already, just let me know in the comment, or try to explain it. But right now I want you to imagine a situation which you want to get any student's information, like the name, age, and the grade of his or her, and just get it and show it later in the program. So by the information that we have got already, we can just define some variables and do stuff with that, like the name is we can get the name from input and say enter name. You can do the same for age and grade, which you could just say enter age and enter grade, but the grade and age must be something different. The age is an integer and the grade could be a double or a float number. I just want to use float. We don't need that much of precision, so the double is not work. Oh, we don't have actually double in Python because the float is actually double, already double. All right. The next step is just to print that I want to use fstring. I can't recall if I have explained the fstring or not. Fstring is basically a string which is formatable. You can put variables inside this string. So if you were intended to include the value of the name inside this string, you could just say name is you can open a curly bracket and it, between the opening and the closing of these curly braces, you could just put the variable name, and it magically appends the value of that variable. But if you forgot to include those curly braces, it just treats it like it's just a word or something like that. But at fstring, you could just mention a variable in between of a curly braces, and it magically moves the value of the variable inside that string. If you forgot to put that f here, it will treat this with a normal string which is not formatable. So we are going to use fstring, which is called f string because it's an f, it's f and followed by a double quotation, which is a symbol of a string, so we call it f string. Name is, I could just say name is student is age years old student who has the grade as great. I don't know if it is appropriate or not to print something like that, but let's call this like pretend it's me. I'm about to turn X's, but 25. And let's be honest, my grade it's 13.45. It's a fair thingy. So Siavush is 25 years old, the student who has 45 as grade. So this is working just fine, but this is absolutely garbage, and it would be more clear to know if you just wanted to do this for two students. You just needed to copy this, paste this for any amount of student that you want to do this to. There's an alternative to this, and let's skip this. The alternative is just to use I want to exit here, so when it reaches that line it exits the code, so the code never asks for the name, age, or grade, because we called exit, and it doesn't matter how many times I click on run, it won't run. I mean, it runs, but it doesn't do anything, because all I have written here is to exit, and anything that you have written after the exit function would not be executed, because it has been already exited, so there is nothing to execute. So I was saying, another alternative to doing this is to just use a dictionary. What is dictionary, you ask? Dictionary is a data type, just like integer, string, or whatever data type that you have been familiar with at the previous sessions. Dictionary is a key-valued object. That might sound a bit complicated, but believe me, this is very easy. Let's just assume that we have a variable called v. I don't have anything specific, or var, or variable. It doesn't matter. The name doesn't matter. It could be a dict, which is an abbreviation for dictionary. So if I print this variable here, all I am seeing is an empty curly braces. So it could be replaced with an empty curly braces. They are the same. So the dict function is just more readable. You could just read this. It's a dictionary, you can treat them with this. You can say the variable key of name is, for example, John, or whatever, and if you just print this, it says the name is John. That is simple. Variable key of age is something like 29. John is a bit older than me. Yes, there is a John in this world which is older than me, and also 29 years old. So as the grade, I want to pass like 17. John has better grade than I, and all these values are stored in a single variable called variable. Here I can just say like a student. It doesn't matter. I can just rename that to whatever variable I want, as long as I keep in mind the rules of the name of variables, I can name them whatever I want. It must start with a letter or an underscore, and could contain any number, uppercase, lowercase, symbol, or underscores. Doesn't matter how many underscores I put, it works. There's something with numbers in Python which you can just separate them. For example, if you want to put 100 billion and 300 million, 356,000 and 101 in a number, it could be right just 100 billion 312 million 453,123 if you want to write this number. And it's, as you can see, a bit hard to read. You can just separate them with underscores, and just Python will ignore those. So if I print this, that was just a side note, I can see the normal shape of the number. So you can just put as many as underscores as you want, and Python doesn't care. It just it is a good way to just separate the numbers, which helps the readability of your code. So that was the rules of variables. I don't care, actually. You would understand. So so far we have learned about dictionary, and they are able to store more than one value at the same time with different keys, and they are a bit organized compared to the previous method that we have used. So instead of using this, I can just define a function called get student, and all it does, it creates the student, and instead of putting the name John, it will asks for the name of the student. So it just prompts the value, and it stores the value inside the student parameter, and at the end I just want to return the value of the student. So if I want to read for example 10 students info, I could just write like student 1 is get a student, for let's just go for 2, student 1 and student 2, and just print those to see what we have got. Student 1 and student 2. So let's just run the script. It says enter name. I'm going with John, 29 years old, and 17.10 whatever. And again, it will ask me for another name because I have called this function 2 times, and each time it will repeat the job. So you kind of can guess. I can put that inside the loop, but inside a loop we cannot simply just define different variables. So that has a trick, and I'm not going to teach you that because that's a bit dangerous to do. It's let's just forget about that. So it will again asks me for a name. I'm going with like Sarah, with age of 23 and the grade of 18, because the girls are a bit they have better grades than boys. So basically I have read two students information and I just printed those. So it all seems fine, except I cannot do this for you say 1,000 students. I cannot yet define dynamic variable names. So what is the solution here? So after dictionary, I want to introduce you to something new. Let's just do that exit thingy here. Exit. It temporarily let us do something here without invoking the bottom part of the code. So we have another data type, data structure, or whatever you want to name it, it doesn't matter. It has the name of list. So as the name gives it away, the list is just a list. It could be a sequence of numbers, strings, objects, whatever it is. So I'm going to define my var as a list and just print it just to see what is inside a list. And just like the dictionary, which we were able to replace the dict function as the empty curly braces, the lists are equivalent to just braces, and we are able to replace that with an empty brace. It's braces, yeah, it's braces, and it works just fine. Another thing about the dictionary, which we were able to replace it with an empty curly braces, we could just put the values here, like I don't know, like something is whatever, and if I just print that, I can see that the key of sum is the value of 1231, which I have written here. So with an empty curly braces, I can just define that it is a dictionary, but I can also put some key values here. So we are not going to do that yet, and with a list I can just do this, and or add some values here, like 1 2 3 4 John, and like Mary, false, maybe. What we can add here, let's add a float like 1.1, a new dictionary even, and why why do we have a Python here? So if I run this script again, I can see all of these items inside this list. So it's 1 2 3 4 John, Mary, false, 1.1, and an empty curly braces, which is represented instead of this dictionary function, because this dictionary function is basically just returning this value of nothing, because we have passed nothing to it. So it's an empty dictionary, which is also equivalent of empty curly braces, and it just can get inside the list. So inside the list also we can have an empty list again, and the list could be presented with empty braces or the function of the list. It doesn't matter actually. List can contain anything actually. Last but not least, let's get a student, and we just hit an error by just mistake, and I remember I forgot to explain it to you. So as we go further and further in our code, line 1 and 2 are empty, so the interpreter of Python just passes them, ignores them, and at the line 3 we are defining some stupid thingy as list. The values doesn't make any sense, but the Python just does what it has told to do. So at the line 4, or the fourth line, we are going to define a variable called a student1, which is fine, but the value is coming from getStudent function, which we haven't defined yet. So that's an error. We have the getStudent, but it's going to be defined at a later statement. So if I run this, I will hit an error which says the getStudent is not defined. So if you want to use any function, you have to define it first. So I just need to move this to upper section of the code. So after reading the student, I want to append this student to my list, which is my var in this case. So it will ask me for a name because it has reached this section which called the getStudent function, and it will ask me for a name. So I'm going with like Donald with age of like 60 and the grade of like what, don't get it bad, but like 15.5. So as you can see inside my list, at the end of the list, as the last element, we have a dictionary, which is the information of the student we have entered in the previous state. So we have this object which has three properties, or three keys for this dictionary, and the values of Donald 60 and 15.5. So we have learned so far what is dictionary, what is a list, and you have learned that we can assign something to a dictionary, or we can just simply print those. Like if you want to access the name of a student1, you could just say a student1, and at the braces in front of it just say the property of name. It's really simple. So for the problem here, which we wanted to get information about 1,000 students, we could just define a list called students, which I am going to show with an empty braces, or I can just say list, it doesn't really matter. And for something like I in range of 1,000, I can do this. I can do what? I can define a temporary dictionary. I can call it tmp dict, which is a curly bracket, or I have written this here. I just wanted to repeat that part, so that's something bad. I can just append to students getStudent function. So a getStudent function will eventually return me a dictionary, which is a data of the student, it will read the data from input, and I just append this to all of my student lists. So 1000 is a lot. I'm going to go with 5, and at the end I'm going to print students. So let's just clear everything and rerun it. It will ask me for the properties of 5 students. So let's start with Majid with age of 18 and grade of 19. Again, the name again could be Kosar, age of 24, grade of 18 for 45. Again, the name like Masood, age of 30. Age of 30 is not considered a student, but who cares? With the grade of 12, maybe, I don't know. The data actually doesn't matter. I just want to show you how it's done, and just remember, this is just a temporary solution. There are more better ways to do this, and this is not something that you want to do in your production. So do not get mad at the comment section or whatever. Just stay tuned, and I will teach you the proper way to do this. So for another student, I am I'm running out of names. Let's go with Raker, age of 16 and the grade of 20. Again, the name, give me some names. Could be Daniel with the age of 25 and the grade of 17. So we have entered successfully the properties of 5 students, and as the result, when we printing these students, we have a list which contains 5 objects, and each object has 3 properties called name, age, grade, name, age, grade, name, age, grade, and all, etc. So this is an acceptable solution for this problem, but we are far behind with the perfect thing, which we call it best practice. Best practice just simply means the best solution for a given problem, which it could be something like getting the information of any number of students. It's actually a problem. A problem is not something that you have to solve in math. Actually, the computer science has some problems which are like this, you can see. So that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, do whatever you want to support this channel. Actually, I'm not seeking for your support, but if you do, I would appreciate it, and it would give me some motivation to continue this journey with you. So as always, take care and see you soon.